Hello everybody, it is Leah with the Y and welcome back to my channel. I hope that your week has been well. I hope life has been treating you well. Had an amazing week and everything that you have asked for, everything that you have manifested, everything that you have prayed for, you have received. Now that we have got the pleasantries out of the way, I have noticed all across social media that there has been a interest in blind people and how we live our day to day lives and how we go about doing normal things. I thought that I would just kind of talk about what it was for me to be blind as a child, what it's like for me to be blind as an adult now. I'll try to keep this video brief. I won't make it too long. So I'll just get straight into it. So as a child, being blind, was my life any different from that of any of my siblings? No. I'm the only blind person in my family that I know of that has my condition, which is congenital sclerocornea nystagmus. So the white part of my eye and the clear part of my eye, they kind of like fuse together, which is preventing me from being able to see. So that's what that is. And I've been this way since birth. So I only know what it is to be blind. I don't know what it's like to have sight. And as I said, I'm the only person in my family who has this condition. As a child, I had a normal childhood. I did have to have things modified for me when I would go to school. And I'll talk about that in another video because that's kind of a whole other thing. But like they did what they could for me in school to make school accessible for me. And as far as home goes, my mom tried to do the best that she could. But it mostly ended up being my little sister making sure that I was good and I was well taken care of in terms of like when she was younger. She's not much older than me. She's like a year and a couple months younger than me. So she would make sure I had nice clothes, and she would make sure that whatever she picked out for me to wear was presentable and stuff like that. As far as that goes, it was pretty normal. I had the same consequences as everybody else. I was expected to do the same thing as everybody else, and I wasn't treated any differently necessarily from any of my other siblings. So that's always a bonus. I got punished if I didn't do my homework, if I didn't clean my room, if I didn't just, little simple stuff. If there was stuff that I was supposed to have done that I didn't do and I waited too late to do it, I got in trouble. Wasn't any difference went on as far as how I was treated. Was there some babying going on, and was my mom kind of trying to hinder me from doing things by myself? Yes, in the beginning she was, but when she saw that I was willing to do it on my own, she sort of kind of tried to show me how to do things, but for the most part, it was other people that was showing me how. I pride myself on being independent and not having to ask people to do a whole lot for me, because there is still some stuff I need help with. And so yeah, as it relates to that, being a child, it was pretty much normal. I had problems accepting my blindness as a child, though. I didn't want to accept the fact that I would be blind for the rest of my life. And so I just kind of, I would go get prayed over. I would go allow people to lay hands on me and try to bless me. And people would say, oh, it was a mistake, that this was the devil's doing, and da 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 da. And then I just came to the realization that if this was a mistake, then it wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying? Something would have been done by now. Obviously, if you believe in God, then, he wanted me to be this way. And so I'm just going to accept it, and it's going to be what it's going to be. Stop getting prayed over, and I stopped listening to people who said things like, oh, well, maybe when you turn a certain age, you'll gain some sight. I stopped listening to those people because it's clear y'all don't know what y'all are talking about. And I also stopped listening to the people who tried to diagnose me and tried to say, this is why you are blind, and this is why, when your mom was pregnant with you, she ate too much hot stuff. Your mom your mom put you in front of the TV when you were little. They said dumb shit like that. And it's like, y'all are not doctors. So if you're not a doctor, please don't try to diagnose a person or try to tell a person why you think they went blind. Respectfully shut the hell up if you don't know what you're talking about. Because for a lot of people, if they really don't know, really know the reasons why they could become blind in the first place, you can really cause them a lot of stress and a lot of trauma. So just don't do that. Okay, just stop. But as a child, growing up and going into like middle school and high school and stuff like that, I tried to do normal things. I was involved in extracurricular activities. I was a Boys and Girls Club kid. So even being there, they knew that I was blind, but they didn't look at me any differently. I still got the same treatment that all the other children got. I was involved. I ran track both my 8th grade year of middle school and my senior year of high school. It was fun. I loved doing that. I participated in show choir. In school, I love music. I still love music, and I kind of love performing because it was really, really fun. So I did that when I was in school. I won a number of awards as well when I was with the Boys and Girls Club. I was Youth of the Year. I was Smart Girl of the Year. And Smart Girls was a program where they basically taught young girls ages 6 to 18, about like peer pressure and puberty and sex and relationships and things like that. Of course, you learned about certain things depending on how old you were. So if you were 6 to 9, you learned about friendships and peer pressure and things like that. And then as you got older, you kind of expanded on what you learned about when you were 6 and 9 and 10 and 12 and then 13 on up, if that makes any sense. So I had that happened. So I won those awards. I've been on several committees. I've been put in leadership roles before. So my blindness has not affected me, did not affect me as a child. Didn't affect me doing whatever it was I wanted to do. Whatever I wanted to do, I did it. I didn't have any limitations on me. As an adult, it's the same thing. It doesn't affect me and how I live as an adult either. I live a life that is, fulfilling, and I'm, for the most part, happy. And I rarely ever have any complaints. Does it get hard sometimes? Absolutely. Does it get to a point where I have days where I wish I could see and I wish my life was a little bit easier? Yeah. Whenever I have to go places and I can't find anybody to take me, or I'm in an area where I know that transportation is kind of scarce, then it gets hard. And I've been in situations like that, because now I have to go around and I have to ask people, to take me. And, I feel like I'm a burden to people sometimes, because they have to rearrange their entire schedule, just to kind of help me do what I need to do. So it can be annoying, but all in all, it's pretty cool being blind. I find ways that I can use the things in my house, the appliances in my house. I try to memorize it because, like I said, not everything is accessible. And as a blind person, as both a child and an adult, I have always had to be adaptable. I have always had to be the one to adjust, because, believe it or not, this world wasn't designed with me and anybody else like me in mind. So I always had to be the one to figure out a way to make something work for me, or to modify something to where I'll be able to participate in or use it. Being blind kind of channels your creativity in a sense, because you're forced to kind of think on your feet. So yeah, as an adult though, I still kind of face the stereotypes that come with people with disabilities. People still assume that because you are blind and you can't see, that means you can't do anything else. And I believe that when you are a sighted person, all you know is being able to see. So you cannot imagine what it is to be out here blind. But what you have to know is that not every part of life requires you to see. There are things you can do that, you can do with your eyes closed. Hell, I live life with my eyes closed all the time. So I know it to be true. And the way I view my disability is that I'm not an abnormal person. My disability is not abnormal. Tell somebody I'm a normal person who just so happens to be blind. And as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing really wrong with me, because the only difference between me and you is that when you go blind, or you have your moments of blindness, your blindness lasts for a moment. You have blind moments. My blindness is permanent. This is forever. You know what I'm saying? Yours will go away, but mine will always be here. But even still, I still see myself as a normal person, and that is it, and that is all. Is it hard? Sometimes, yes. Was it hard as a child? Absolutely. But did I let it stop me and hinder me from doing things that I wanted to do? No, I didn't. And I always made sure that I never allowed anybody else to do the same thing, because people treat you how you treat you. So if your outward appearance is, you know, you always throwing a pity party for yourself, always talking down on yourself and being negative about yourself, then that's how people are going to treat you. People that have come into contact with me, you know, they've always been the first blind person I've ever met, and I'm the first, you know, blind person that they've ever just seen do normal things. And so they're always pleasantly surprised by stuff like that. So it's cool in a sense, because it's like I have multiple ways of being able to see. I can see with my eye, I can see with my eyes, Lord have mercy. I can see with my hands, I can see with my ears, I can see with my nose occasionally, but mostly my hands and my ears. And I think the greatest thing about not having sight is that you cannot prejudge people based off of their looks. You can only judge them based off of the vibes that you get, you know, and how you feel. And I think that is amazing, because oftentimes, you know, especially with the society that we are living in, we take one look at a person and we judge them based off of their appearance. And the whole time we could be missing out on like a great person. We could be missing out on a friend or a partner, all because they don't look a certain way. They don't look like our ideal person that we would want to associate ourselves with. So as a blind person, I think you will truly be able to get to know you for who you are. And I think that's the most wonderful thing about being blind. I hope that answered any questions that you all may have. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you have just so happen to stumble across this video and you enjoyed this content, this particular video, give it a thumbs up, would you? It would really be nice. Also, press the little subscribe button so that you can be subscribed to the channel. And also, while you're at it, hit that notification bell so that you can be notified of when I post videos. I'm trying to get into a groove here. This is only my second video, so y'all just hang in there and be patient, and I'll do my best to try to be consistent and post things. Leave me some comments, leave me some engagement in this video. And until the next time, I will see you in the next video.